welcome back to another amazing session here at the I Am Her International USA Experience. Wow, women of the word, worship, worth, wealth, and warfare. We're so excited that you are here with us on today. We're getting ready to talk about a much needed conversation. We're going to talk about our speaker that's coming up. Our speakers are going to talk about menopause, right? Let's break the taboo. So before I bring them up to the stage, let me let you know a little bit about them. Well, why do we wait until there is disease and illness before beginning treatment? Why not start before the disease occur and prevent it? The co-founder of the White Rose community, 7 out of 10 women blamed menopause for their marriages ending in divorce. They are about helping women navigate the changes brought on by menopause and how to manage this beautiful transition in a woman's life. They're trying to raise awareness about menopause and provide a community for women to reduce the loneliness they experience. Dr. Kane is a sports and exercise medicine and public health physician who has focused his career on the treatment and prevention of non communicable and lifestyle diseases such as diabetes, hypertension, and obesity. Using the methods learned in exercise medicine and his training and experience working with sports teams and athletes for the last 10 years. He have developed courses that help those struggling through menopause and other illnesses such as diabetes, prediabetes, has struggled with losing weight or want to challenge themselves to live a healthier life. He is committed to helping his clients achieve their personal goals and with exercise, healthy food choices, and lifestyle intervention to manage stress and sleep. I want to bring to the stage our speakers for this hour, Dr. Kane and Miss Nurse. Welcome to the I Am Her US International US Experience, Dr. King and Miss Nurse. I thank you guys so much for being here with us. And I'm going to give you this platform so you can begin the conversation on menopause. Let's break the taboo.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you for having us. This is an excellent opportunity for us to share from the Caribbean. We're hailing from Trinidad and Tobago, and I know we didn't get introduction to Nurse Maria. Nurse Maria is a women's health nurse who has worked with women for a very long time in both reproductive health and as a midwife. So today we want to talk a little bit about menopause. So Maria, can you hear us? So Maria, you'll have to unmute yourself. So let's dive in about what is menopause. And so
Dr. Kane, are you trying to share a screen?
no, I'm not. I'm
Okay.
just opening my own screen.
Okay. And Maria
Maria,
is
can
on
you
mute.
have you unmute yourself? Maria, you have to unmute yourself. So um, so let's talk about what menopause is. Menopause is a beautiful transition in a woman's life um, into her from her reproductive years to her non-reproductive years, right? And it is a transition that can start from as early as in a woman's 40s and can actually go on. for up to 10 years, so up to middle of up to her 50s. Um, the average woman has menopause, is complete, has gone through the perimenopause phase or completed menopause or gone into full menopause, which is called postmenopause, by the age of 51. So I'll ask Maria to chime in here and give us a little bit more information about what menopause is and why it's such an important topic and such a beautiful transition in a woman's life.
Good night, everyone. Menopause is a topic that has been shrouded in silence. I wouldn't say just mystery, but silence for a number of years. And a lot of women going through this transition feel lonely. They feel at this point in their time that people just don't take them seriously enough at this point in time and think, well, it's a passing phase and everything will just be all right. But a lot of women go through a lot of problems during this time. It affects menopause, affects every aspect of our lives, or personal lives, or physical emotional life. It can make us very stressed if we don't know what we are going through. So there are phases of menopause. We have the premenopausal phase. That is the phase that we call from the time you see your first period, which is the menarche, up to the point in time when you get your first symptoms of perimenopause, which is in many cases, some women start to find their periods, which has always been timely, has now become irregular. Some women start to get hot flashes and they're wondering, I wonder which stage of menopause am I in at this point in time? But menopause can start, perimenopausal signs and symptoms can start as early, can show itself up from as early as in the 30s, the mid 30s and upwards, onwards. So you can have perimenopausal symptoms for a long time before actually getting into menopause. Menopause, that menopausal period now is those 12 consecutive months that you not see your monthlies for. So you have to wait until 12 months consecutively. And at that point in time, you can say, all right, I am menopaused. At this point in time, I'm not seeing my period. I cannot become pregnant at this point in time, the natural way that is. And then we have the postmenopausal phase. That is the phase after the menopausal period where a lot of women bones have become brittle, weak. A lot of other symptoms have stepped in. They have symptoms like Alzheimer's, a lot of a lot of other physical and mental problems step in, especially if they have comorbidities along with the menopausal symptoms. So it is a very important transition. It's something that should be taken more seriously with a lot of women that the experiences that we go through at this point in time. So this
And
our
I,
program.
I'd like
So
to
our
chime in here. I'd
mhm.
like to chime in here and add, when we're talking about the perimenopause to menopause phase or postmenopause, this is a big transition for women because of that decrease in the hormones that are estrogen and progesterone. These hormones have a big impact on, on many aspects of your life. So you will see things like weight gain. Some women have hair loss. They have dry skin. You'll see things like an increase in the risk of things like diabetes, hypertension, heart disease. And of course, Maria did mention bone disease, which is things like osteoporosis and brittle bones. Osteoporosis is basically loss of calcium in the bone that makes it a lot weaker and increases the risk of things like fractures, like hip fractures, and even simple fractures like on the forearm or the wrist. Um, all of these things are events that occur and are sped up by menopause, by going through that transition from menopause. And I have to say, for every woman, menopause can be vastly different. So some women might have no symptoms whatsoever, and then other women might have an overwhelming amount of symptoms. Like one of the women we were talking to, she said she knew exactly what day she went into menopause. She actually told us what day it was, exact time and day, and she said she knew this because she was so tired and she had to call in sick, and then she had, for the rest of the next few months, she was literally handing over work to her colleagues because she just couldn't do it. And she's like, I'm a high performer. I'm always at the top of my game. And here I am, 10 o'clock in the morning, completely tired, unable to move, and feeling so much like not myself. And she honestly didn't know what she was going through. It was not until months later that she actually learned when she went into her doctor what she was going through. And she said if she'd had a little bit of pre-warning and a little bit of a better understanding, she would have more likely been able to manage the symptoms better. And we know this is true. Um, there's a lot of support now, and there's a lot of women who are coming out and saying, no, I'm not going to accept this change so lightly. I'm going to find out what we can do about it. And that's why we are here at the White Rose community to offer this help to women to help them through this transition because we really understand what you're going through and we really want to help. So, Maria, sorry to cut in. I just wanted to add
That's
that.
okay. So, in our community, we offer, we combine our forces. Let's just say Dr. Khan's specialization and mine as a sexual health and reproductive nurse. We combine forces to help women during this time. And actually, that is how we met initially. I came in my workplace to do one of his programs, which has to do with weight loss, stress management, and I was struggling with weight for a long while, weight loss. And he emphasized the mental aspect of weight loss, how we have to deal with stress management, because with extra stress, there is increased cortisol. And we know with increased cortisol, which is called the stress hormone, that helps, that is what is a big factor with women during menopause to get that set of that causes that amount of fat around the tummy area. And if that stress is not under control, that is psychologically, you cannot lose the weight because your cortisol levels will be high, always high, and it will be very difficult to lose weight. So under his program, he had us dealing with that aspect, the stress management, which with the help of my husband, I got that under control. We set up by me some exercise equipment, and I made a total lifestyle change. Started to eat as healthy as I could, cut the sugar, which is another factor, processed food, and within, I started like March last year. Within from March to August, I had lost 43 pounds. And it helped me realize too that my menopausal symptoms were decreasing and had decreased a lot actually. And I spoke to Dr. Khan about the effects that the program had on me as a woman transitioning. And we came together. I told him, well, we need to do something because there are a lot of women who come to me and they ask for help. And yes, I give them, but we not getting they didn't get the full picture. So we combine the stress management along with the eating lifestyle change to help along with supplementation. And we came and that was the birth of the White Rose community. So that is how we uh, combined now in combined forces to help women through this important aspect of our lives.
Yeah. I would say to add to that, I mean, one of the reasons we joined this, I mean, we're seeing a lot of women who are struggling to, make ends meet, manage their symptoms, deal with their families. And I remember in my introduction, we mentioned how 7 in 10 women blame menopause for divorce. And it's interesting; it's a really high number. And many of the women, like we were doing our presentations for churches here in Trinidad and Tobago, and some of the things that came up was women didn't feel they had the ability to share what they were going through in their symptoms, even with their partners. And it was so interesting because two of the women on one of the sessions with us were daughter and mother, and the daughter didn't know what her mom was going through when it came to menopause. She thought her mom was perfectly fine, and her mom was on the call, and she was a beacon in the call, and she was saying, you know, I was going through these terrible symptoms, but I had nobody to talk to. I felt I had nobody to talk to. I couldn't share this stuff with my husband, and I felt that way. And for that reason, I felt very lonely. I felt very isolated. And, you know, we couldn't, and I didn't feel I could talk to anybody. And her daughter is saying there, Mom, I didn't even know you went through this. And it was such a wonderful moment because it was in that meeting we heard a big opening of really one of the things that came up is the taboo that surrounds menopause. This feeling that, you know, we shouldn't be talking about it. And it's interesting because as mothers raising daughters, you help them through puberty, and then you help them through the childbearing years, and you know, and the reproductive years, and raising children and so on. But yet, when it comes to something like menopause, there's very little support, and there's very little discussion around the topic, even between mothers and daughters. And interestingly, on a few of our courses, we have the husband joining in with us in these sessions, and they're very interested in what their wives are going through, and really are coming on and engaging and saying, you know, I didn't notice, and I'm happy I do now, and I can see how I can support my wife in this change, and they were right there with it. So not only is menopause just about going through the transition of one stage of the reproductive years to the non-reproductive years, but there's also massive relationships involved, and get being able to open this conversation and show women how they can talk to their partners and how they can create intimacy even during this transition is a very important part of maintaining relationships. And I gotta say, it's been a phenomenal journey learning about this stuff and then sharing it with others and seeing women really blossom. For instance, in one of our courses called Menopause Intimacy Formula, we talk about intimacy. And one of the ladies came on and we gave her some pelvic exercises. And if you don't know what those are, the Kegels exercises they're always talking about, we gave her some of those and she started practicing them. And she said within 2 weeks, she saw a big change in her flexibility and her strength in terms of her pelvic area. And all those things can lead to an increase in intimacy, an increase in your relationship, getting healthier, learning what nutrition is needed through menopause, and for instance, the supplements that are needed, like Maria mentioned earlier. Um, we have like there's quite a few supplements out there. There's dozens of them. In our research, we have found, and in our community, we try to lead our community onto what is the best supplement to use, when to use them, how to use them, and those formative areas of menopause. Um, so there's quite a lot of information out there, and we try to filter it and make it available to women as a whole in the community. So I know we're coming down to almost to the end of our presentation time. Um, I'll ask our host if she'd like to rejoin us a little bit. Apostle Darashi. Am I pronouncing your name correctly? Darashi? Yes,
Okay, you guys are finished?
yes, we're done. But I'd love to offer you guys, your audience, a small present we've created for them, if that
Okay,
is okay.
that's
Yeah,
perfectly fine.
sure. We've created a present for the supplement you can take during menopause. Let me just pull up the link, share it with everyone. Let me just put chat stuff. There's the chat. There it is. Right. So the chat is here. Post it. So this is a link of the 9 supplements you need in all stages of menopause, the pre, peri, and the postmenopause. We also added a bonus supplement in there. So when you download it, you'll have access. And in that link, we also go through what are the symptoms of menopause and how you can, and if you want to identify them, right? So this is a little gift we've prepared for you guys so that you all will have an idea of what you're going through in menopause and where you are in terms of the symptoms. You can do a little self-diagnosis on your own.
Absolutely. Listen, I love it. Great information. And we do thank you for coming by here, empowering us. Now, what is the website for the community?
1 second, I'll do that for you. It's called the White Rose dot
And
site.
so if you guys have any questions, if you have any questions centered around menopause, right, this will be a great opportunity for you to ask them as we have our professionals here to deal with this matter. Okay, here you go. The White Rose site. Let me just make sure that I get it on all the platforms. Also, so we put in the chats or in the chats or in the comment area, just depending on what platform that you're on, you're gonna find the two links. One link is going to be the gift that has been given by our speakers on today, our facilitators for this session. And so you're able to go there and get the freemium that they are offering you. And then also for those who need to be a part of the community because you're trying to figure out, like, listen, I'm going through or I'm in some phase of menopause and I need to pull life together. And they have an amazing
Hmm.
community to help you transition through this space or phase within your life. So listen, take advantage of such opportunities so that life can be made so much more easier. Listen, as a woman, I know we already have enough hats that we're trying to manage. And the great thing about it, listen, for only $18 a month, right? You get to be a part of an amazing community that provides you with information about menopause, health and fitness, skincare and fashion, retreats and relaxation, nutrition and cooking courses, coaches and consultants on hand to work with you as you're transitioning through this life journey. So go ahead and check them out at the White Rose site. 18 USA dollars could help you transition through life in a more comfortable state, right? And help impact your life and improve your life in various areas. So go ahead and check out the White Rose community. Listen, I want to thank you guys so much for joining us here and providing us with such amazing information that is surely needed for women and providing such an amazing community that has um, that has set aside a space for women to be able to come and deal with the issues of the transition in life when it comes to menopause and providing that safe environment and strategies, tips, and other things to make sure that we're able to live life healthy and with ease. So we thank you guys so much for all that you're doing to help women around the world.
Thank you so much for having us.
Have a nice.
Okay, awesome. You guys have an amazing day. Listen, wasn't that absolutely amazing? Okay, you guys. So we have another session that we have to go to. So we're going to transition over to our very next speaker. So I'll see you guys on the other side.
Okay.
Bye bye, everyone.